the Rode Wireless Go II. It's all in this pouch. So today I want to go through the review of this mark system, and we'll go through the pros and cons, of course. So before we get started, I'm going to ask you to hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, it does also really help the channel, so I really appreciate you joining in. Let's get into the video. So this is the box that the Rode Wireless Go II came in, and by the way, I am recording using the Rode Wireless Go II mic. Let's just see what it says on the side here. It says dual channel wireless, 3.5mm USB-C iOS audio output, built-in microphone, and 2.4 GHz digital transmission. On the back of the box, you'll see what the box contains. It has one receiver, 2 transmitters, 3 fur windshields, 3 USB-C cables, 1 SC5 3.5mm TRS cable, and 1 carry pouch. The biggest pro for this mic, I would say, is the fact that the sound quality is just really crisp, and of course that's what you pay for. You can put this on a collared t-shirt or a jacket really easily, but when it comes to a t-shirt just like this, then you know it does unfortunately pull your clothing down a little bit because of the size and the bulkiness of the mic. So that's probably the biggest con for me, is the size and the weight of this mic. Since it is wireless, it does go on your person, so you would have to put it on your clothes in a way that it's not going to pull your clothing down. But I will do a comparison between using the Rode Wireless Go II, the Rode Videomic GO II, and just the onboard mic on the camera, and then you can see for yourself, or should I say you can hear for yourself, the difference between the sound quality on each mic. This is the receiver. On top you have your on and off button. On the bottom you have 2 function buttons. On the left hand side you have a charging port and a 3.5mm port, and then on your right hand side you have your branding Wireless Go II. On the back you also have very nice Rode branding right there, and this is a clip used to put mostly on the hot shoe of your camera because it is the receiver. And this is one of the transmitters with the on and off button at the bottom and the charging port on the right hand side. On the top here you can see a 3.5mm port on the left. In the center is the mic itself, and on the right you have your LED indicators. On the left hand side you'll see the Wireless Go II branding, and on the back we have also that nice Rode branding with that clip that usually would go now onto your clothing because this is the transmitter. To turn the receiver on, hold the on and off button for about 3 seconds and then it will turn on. And it's the same process with the transmitter. Press and hold for 3 seconds and then it will turn on. And this is the fur windshield that comes with the package, and underneath you'll see 2 white dots, and what you want to do is you want to line those up with the 2 protruding dots on the actual mic itself, as you can see. So line them up. Once it's clipped in, rotate clockwise just like that, and it's now on and set. To mute one of the mics, use the right function button. To locate the mic you want to mute, then press the left button to mute, just like that. Now as you can see, the one mic is muted and the other mic is not muted. And if you want to mute the other mic, just simply use the right function button to select the other mic and then the left function button to mute that mic. So as you can see now, both mics are muted. And then of course, to unmute both mics, you're going to select each mic and unmute each mic using the function buttons. And as you can see now, both mics are operational and receiving sound. To connect the receiver to your camera, you're going to need to use this SC5 3.5mm TRS cable that came in the package, and then that would get plugged into the receiver, and then the receiver would go onto the hot shoe of your camera. And then of course the other end of the cable is going to get plugged straight into your camera. To charge the receiver or any one of the transmitters, just plug in the USB Type-C into the side of the device, and then the other end will go into a charging device, of course. And this is this nice little pouch that came with the package, and it has this really nice tag that says Rode on it. I mean, this pouch is just really handy to have so that you can put all the mic equipment inside and carry it around wherever you need to go. So yeah, really nice to have. I like the way they added that in the package. And just take note that straight out of the box it's set to stereo mode, so if you're recording only on one of these mics, you're either going to get audio from the left or right channel. So to change that setting back to mono, what you want to do is take the receiver and press the two buttons on the bottom of the receiver simultaneously for about 5 seconds or so, and then you'll see, actually only about 3 seconds, but once you do that, you'll see now that it's only gone to one channel, so that's whether you're recording on this mic or both, it will be mono and not stereo. And that is what I would say you would probably need to use more, unless you are doing a special video recording where you need to use stereo audio. Then you can have that feature enabled if you need it, which is really also handy to have in certain situations. One more thing I want to mention before moving on to testing is the fact that these mics have a 7-hour battery life, which is really good, and they don't take more than, I would say, about a couple hours to fully charge. So now let's go to the comparison and testing of these mics. This is what it sounds like using the onboard mic on the Nikon Z camera, set to 12 decibels. So what I'm going to do is an indoor and outdoor test. I'm going to switch over now to the Rode Wireless Go II, and you will be able to then tell the difference. And this is what it sounds like using the Rode Wireless Go II. I have it set to 8 decibels on the camera and minus 9 decibels on the receiver. This is what it sounds like with the fur windshield attached. But before I show you the outdoors comparison, I want to go back to the Rode Videomic GO II, which is this mic over here. And I want to actually do an in-depth review video on this particular mic. And that will be obviously for another day. So do hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is on if you want to see the review video coming up for this particular mic. And now this is the Rode Videomic GO II. I've set the decibel level on my camera to 10. And then, yeah, you will obviously see now the difference between using the Rode Wireless Go II and the Rode Videomic GO II indoors. Let's do an outdoor comparison though, shall we? I'm now using the onboard mic on the Nikon Z camera. And of course this will give you a good idea of the difference between using the Rode Wireless Go II or just using your onboard mic on whatever kind of camera you might have. So now let's go to the Rode Wireless Go II. This is now what it sounds like with the Rode Wireless Go II, and I've set the decibel level to 8 on the camera, and I've set the decibel level to minus 9 on the receiver, because of course you can change the settings. And this is what it sounds like then, of course, if I had to put it onto my clothing. So you can choose to either hold it in your hand or you can put it onto your clothing. Like I said before, it is more ideal if you have a collared shirt or a jacket, then the mic would be a lot better placed on that kind of clothing compared to just your t-shirts. Now let's go to the fur windshield test. This is now what it sounds like with the fur windshield on. Of course, this is really handy to have in windy situations when you need to take some videos outdoors. You obviously now have a good idea of what the mic sounds like with and without the fur windshield, and whether you are using it just by holding it or putting it onto your clothing. If you want to pick up the Rode Wireless Go II, I will put a link in the description to that product. But anyway, thanks for watching. God bless and peace out.